Welcome to Info Center Computer Institute. In today's session, we are going to see about functions. Functions are classified into two types, user-defined function and built-in function. C has an array of functions for various purposes. All these functions are grouped under header files like string.h, stdio, that is standard input and output.h, and math.h, etc. in all the header files. But C also allows the user to create their own functions for their own use. Such functions are called as user-defined functions. In short, they are just functions. These functions are the building blocks of the language. So now we have two types of functions. So now we are going to concentrate more on user-defined function. There are three things that you must see in a user-defined function. The first thing is function declaration, and the second thing is function calling, and the third thing is function definition. A function that calls another function is called calling function, which we will see in more detail in the program. Whereas we will concentrate on the function declaration and function definition syntax. So this is the syntax of function declaration. Function declaration, as the name suggests, it is nothing but declaring a function. So the syntax is data type followed by the function tag. It can be any name that the function's name. Okay, list of parameters inside parentheses. For example, int is the data type and sum, and then int a comma int b. So in this statement, the name of the function is sum and the return value type is int. Number of parameters are 2. This is int a and int b. So number of parameters are 2. Okay, so parameters are otherwise called as arguments. Okay, these parameters are the channels. Okay, these parameters are the channels through which the data flows between the calling function and the called function. So we will just see more about what are parameters and how are they classified, what are the two types of parameters while we are executing the function. And the next thing is function definition, which is nothing but defining a function. So for example, this is the syntax: return type followed by function name and parameter list, and then inside the parenthesis, inside the curly braces, okay, we give the body of the function. For example, int sum of int a, int b. Okay, if this is your function declaration and this will be your function definition, inside the curly braces, you are going to return the result of sum a plus b. Right, and then we are going to close the parenthesis. So int is the return type and sum is the function name. So these are the parameters that are passed from the calling function, and this is the body of the function, the return type. So now without any further delay, we will dive into our first program. So this is a simple program to find the sum of two numbers, and we are going to write our own function here. Okay, as we learned earlier, this is our function declaration. Right, this is a function declaration where we declare a function int of the return type int, and this is a function name and these are the parameters. So function declaration are also called as function prototype. Right, so then inside the main block we just use something called, after the function name we just have some parameters inside the bracket, and this is called as function call. Okay, a function that calls another function. Okay, this is a calling statement. This calls the function. Okay, a statement, a function which calls another function is termed as a calling function. Right, and this is our function definition. Inside which we define the function, we define what the function does. So this is, as we saw earlier, this is the syntax and we just follow that. So now we can see here in function call it is a comma b. The parameters that we pass are a comma b, whereas in function definition it is x and it is y. Okay, the difference between the two is actual and formal parameters. These are called actual parameters. These parameters are the parameters defined in the calling function, and they have the actual values to be passed to the called function. Formal parameters are the parameters defined in the called functions, and they receive the values that are actual values, okay, that are passed when the function is invoked. So to be simple, in simpler terms, calling function calls a function which comes here, and then it just executes the statement inside and it will return. So what the thing returns will be passed to the next statement after the calling function. It will just get invoked. Okay, whatever is in written, it will get into play from here, right? So this is as simple the program is. So now at the start you have to declare the function. Okay, you're going to declare, you're going to say the compiler that, to be simple, okay, in simpler terms you're going to say the compiler that you're going to use a function and you'll declare, and inside the main program, the place where you want to use the function, you're going to call it. When you call it, it will automatically invoke and will come to the function definition. Another thing that must be noticed here is that you can see that here itself our main block gets completed, and this function definition is it is outside the main block. Can you see the difference? It is outside. We have used it in the outside part of the main block. Okay, so you must remember this. Okay, whenever you call this, then it will come to the function definition and it will just make the operations inside, and then it will return the value, and that gets invoked from the next statement after the calling statement. So this is a function definition. This is a function declaration, and this is a function definition, right? So you can see that there is no semicolon at the end, whereas in function declaration we have a semicolon. Okay, and the body of the function follows the function definition, whereas here we don't have any body of the function. Okay, nothing is given like inside curly braces, and this is mandatory for all functions. Okay, if you are writing a function, it is mandatory, whereas function declaration is optional for function returning values. Okay, this is it. So simple and easy. So now let's see into the program. So you can see that this is a function declaration, and we have declared three variables of int type, and you are going to get two numbers from the user and store it in A and B, and C is the value where you are going to have this return value. Okay, you are going to store this return value from the function definition in the C. So you call your function here. So this is called calling function. So as soon as you call this, the function will get invoked and will come to here. And the values in A and B, that is the actual parameters, will be passed inside the function definition, that is to the formal parameters. And then it will return. What will it return? X plus y, which is nothing but the sum, and it will get stored in the variable C. In the next statement, you try to print the sum, and it is C. So the sum is C. That is the value, the addition value of A and B will be stored in C and it will be printed. So now let's try executing this. So it asks for a number. I give it as 4 and then 5, which should return 9. Yes, it has. So this is so simple, and this is how you use a function. You can create your own functions. So the advantage of creating a function is that you can use it how much ever times you want inside the same main block. You can use the add function wherever you want to perform the summation. Okay, wherever you can do it. And also function reduces the size of the program as it induces code reusability. Okay, now we will see another example which finds the maximum of two numbers. So this is also a very simple one and easy to understand. So here this is our function declaration. So we declare it with int type, and max is our function name, and these are the two parameters. So as soon as we get inside, we just notice this one is the function call. So what happens when the control reaches the function call? A function will be invoked, and the actual values, these are the actual parameters, are passed to our formal parameters. Right? So then you are declaring another variable inside this, which is result, and the scope of the variable is only inside this block. Okay, so in result, and now we are comparing the numbers. So already A and B is 100 and 200, right? Max of 100 and 200 is passed. Now the value of num1 is 100 and num2 is 200, right? So now num1 is 100 greater than 200 will be checked. Is it true? No, it is not. Now else part will get invoked, which is the other condition gets true, and then result, the final result will get stored as 200. Because 200 we are checking the maximum here and 200 is the maximum, and we are returning the result to back to the statement where the function is called. So when you are returning it, what will get returned? The result, that is 200. That 200 will be stored. You have assigned it to the variable res, so result, in the main block. So now res will get stored as 200. And then you try printing the values. So you will just see it clearly. So here I have given A as 100 and B as 200, and I have declared another variable res. So when I call the function, it will get inside the function definition, it will calculate the result, that is 200 as a maximum result, and the return statement will pass it here, and res will get updated with the value 200. And then it will go to the print statement. Maximum value is and percentage %d formatting character, which prints the value res, which is nothing but 200. So now we will get the result as 200. Now let's test this. Yes, we got the maximum value is 200. So that's all about the function. So this is how you declare a function, you call a function, and you define a function. So like this you can create your own function and use it as much as time required inside the main block. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.